Slacktail Squad, assemble.
All right, greetings, members of the great Slaptail Nation. It is me. It is I, the Beeve Man, master of the universe, your president-elect, the greatest being to walk the face of the earth, at least in my own mind. This is the Slaptail Squad, and I'm coming to you from my tiny beaver den, sequestering myself for some high-quality sound. And with me today, as always, is my number one, the Ronz.
Hey! Did I hit the cue?
You did good, Ronz. Good job. Good job.
Awesome.
Hey,
Awesome. Thank you.
Also with us today is the Swan. Say hello, Swan.
Hello, Swan.
Yes, nice job. Great job. Great. It is, I don't know, what day is it? It's
Saturday.
Saturday? It's Saturday already. And we just had Thanksgiving. And Ronz, do you really believe that that's a bad holiday? You're like the Wizard of Oz now. I just see your head on it's just your head. It's like
that's my head. Okay, I see how it goes. Yeah.
Like,
when I was a kid, it was a day off of school. It was good food. Honestly, I never thought too much of it. I mean, the genocide behind it, who knew it was about that? But I always thought it was about bringing family together and good food.
Yeah, I'm getting a little tired of everybody just kind of hopping on and deciding that every holiday we have is a bad holiday. It's kind of getting to be a pain in my ass.
Well, yeah, I understand where that's coming from. That pisses me off too. I mean, honestly, there are certain people you don't want to come over for Thanksgiving, so there's that benefit.
I don't know what that has to do with genocide, but okay.
Well, you don't wind up getting into a fight over them. Whatever football team you're watching, whatever political side you're on, it just turns into a free for all.
What did you do? Did you socially distance for your Thanksgiving, or what did you do? What did you do wrong?
I did nothing. I did nothing wrong. No, I didn't do anything wrong. Actually, my wife just got over a bad cold, and we kind of distanced ourselves from people. We thought it was the right thing to do. I did have family invite me over to their place up in Grand Rapids, and I thought, you know what? It's not really the right thing to do, right? Even though they probably wouldn't wear masks at the place, which makes it much more difficult if you're going to have a large gathering of food and people, because you got to take off your mask to eat.
So your wife had a cold. Did she get tested for the coronavirus?
No.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say no. Why is that?
Because we don't have any home kits.
What does that have to do with anything?
No. I think she's been tested once or twice. I'm not sure.
But
I don't
was she
know.
tested while she was sick, while she had symptoms? That's what we're asking.
That brings up a very good point. What are the symptoms right now that everybody's panicking over, right? If
they haven't changed. I mean, they're the same.
No. My thing is during allergy season, right?
It's not allergy season.
No, hear me out. No, but during allergy season, someone coughs or sniffles. Next thing you know, you've got the bubonic plague, right? And that's the way it was going. If someone's got a nasty cold, next thing you know, you got COVID, you're dying, right? Where is the panic button going to slow down on this?
Probably when we stop having over 1,100 people a day die and stop having, over 100,000 people test positive a day. It's not no one's saying that you can't have a cold or you can't have allergies. What we're saying is, yes, we know you have these symptoms. No one can say that you don't have coronavirus. That's why you get tested. So it doesn't matter if you have a cold and that's all you have is a cold. That's the point. You go get a test. It's negative. Great. Most likely you don't have it. You drive on. But if you don't get tested and you're walking around with it, even with mild symptoms or no symptoms, then you're going to spread the condition and it's never going to go away. I especially love it when patients come in and you see at the desk that their chief complaint is allergies. So that's what they tell them when they come in. And then they come in and they've got a fever and they've got a cough. And And then I asked them this crucial question that's part of the review of systems. One of the common questions of a review of systems is, do you have a history of environmental allergies or food allergies? And they say no. I'm like, okay, then why was your chief complaint to my office today that you have allergies when you don't have a history of allergies? So all of a sudden now you have allergies, but you've never had them before. It's just another way of people getting in to be seen when they should just be doing a video visit or not exposing other people. It's ridiculous.
Or when you have diarrhea with your allergies. Diarrhea and a fever with your allergies. How often do you have diarrhea and a fever with your allergies? Never.
That's true. I mean, how often does anybody have diarrhea these days?
Probably
Depends on
quite
what-
often if you have coronavirus or if you
Well,
eat
it's
a
only
bunch
like
of
it's
crap.
like 15% of the people, I think, that statistically 15% have GI symptoms. But the other scary statistic, and don't quote me on the actual numbers, is that the people with GI symptoms tend to have a worse outcome than those who do not have gastrointestinal symptoms.
I would have never guessed that because I don't care. So that's cool. So what'd you guys
You
do
don't
for
care
Thanksgiving?
until you get it.
No.
So what, Ronz? Now you're one of those people who's like, I'm over it and I'm not going to deal with it anymore. I'm going to be an American, ignore it, and it'll go away.
No. If it's my time to check out,
Here's my mother. My mother just showed up. Yeah, there's a little bit of difference to that. So if it's my time to check out, but I could prevent something in a way, no. Have you seen that cartoon where the guy goes to the pearly gates and God's there? He's like, God, I thought you were gonna always protect me. He's like, I told you to wear a mask, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I understand that whole if it's my time, it's my time, but there's also some common sense there. If you can prevent something or worse, killing somebody because you're an ignorant motherfucker, that's a different story.
I could die walking out in front of a car. I mean, right? How often does that happen? Do you walk out in front of cars that often?
In Jesus. I'm gonna walk out in front of this car, and if it's my time, it's my time.
I know.
Jesus will save me if I'm meant to be saved, but I'm gonna walk out in front of this Mack truck. And not my faith. If it's not my time, I'm not gonna go. I'm not even gonna get hurt by it. Thank you, Lord Jesus.
Your accent is so dead on.
I'm a pray on it. Pray on this.
Your accent on that is so spot on. I like that. That's awesome. So what did you guys do for Thanksgiving yourselves?
Oh, we just hung out here together, just the four of us.
We stayed home. We cooked Thanksgiving dinner.
Now, I know that you're a bit of a health nut these days, so what did you decide to make?
Oh, we didn't make anything healthy for Thanksgiving. We made the traditional Thanksgiving stuffing, turkey, green bean casserole, gravy, sweet potato casserole, pie. Like, there was nothing healthy about it at all. Maybe the turkey. But it was the turkey had like 2 sticks of butter infused into it, so it probably wasn't healthy either.
Wow. So did you make a lot of handmade things by, I'm sorry, did you make a lot of the meals by scratch, or did you do it by box?
Oh no, we didn't do it by box. We made it homemade stuff.
So what's your
stuffing?
Wow. So what's your specialty meal that the Beeb Man can't wait to get his hands on?
Meal? I don't know.
Yeah, well, you cooked, right?
Yeah, I mean, I cooked Thanksgiving dinner. Was that a cough, Ronz?
Yes, it was.
Did you get those allergies from your wife?
Yes, I did. Well, I was wondering what meal that.
If it's my time to get allergies, it's my time.
No.
I ain't never had allergies before, but if the good Lord wants me to have allergies, it's okay. I won't have them.
Raise your hands and pray to the big sun in the sky. That's Jesus, not God, because everybody knows the sun.
Bubba Hotep, my God is Bubba Hotep.
First of all, let's not mock that movie, because that is one awesome freaking movie. Bubba Hotep is an awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it. I take it you've seen it.
I'm sorry, what?
Have you seen Bubba Hotep?
I don't remember.
That's with Bruce Campbell as Elvis.
Mm.
Yeah, dude, that is one of the best movies to watch. It's really cool. Okay, enough. I mean, I've I've overwhelmed you with my awesome knowledge of trivia.
Yeah, you've overwhelmed me with your knowledge.
So,
as usual.
what's your favorite
As per
meal?
norm.
As per norm. What is the favorite meal that you like during Thanksgiving that the Swan makes?
I don't have a favorite meal that the Swan makes, but I do have a favorite place to eat.
Oh God.
Where is that?
I like to eat at the Y.
Really? And where's the Y located?
It's at the Y.
Now, does the Y have like a place where you could sit down, or a landing strip where you can lay, come in for a landing and eat?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Awesome. And how often do you eat at this Y?
Not very often.
Okay, awesome.
Not very often.
Not very often.
There's never any opportunity for me to make a reservation. It always seems to be full. Or it's actually usually it's always closed. It's usually always closed. It's not always full. It's usually not full. It's usually always closed.
Awesome. So what's your favorite meal to make there, Swan?
I don't know. I make lots of things. I don't know. My favorite, right? I think maybe chicken crust pizza. That's one of my favorites because it's yummy.
Chicken crust. Now, you turned me on to cauliflower crust pizza. That was awesome. And I was making that at least once.
Was it though? Was it awesome?
Did it
inspire awe? Don't you feel like people use that word way too much? Chicken crust pizza is awesome.
Well,
it's delicious.
It inspires awe.
I didn't say it was awesome. I said it's good. It's delicious.
Ronz
it's yummy.
it
I know
awesome.
Ronz said it's awesome.
I did.
He said it was awesome. It inspires awe. Chicken cauliflower crust pizza inspired him to be in awe.
Maybe that's all it takes for awe for him.
It does.
Cauliflower crust pizza.
She gave me a recipe for it. I looked it up or whatever, and I made it, and my family loves it. I mean,
and they were in awe.
They were in awe.
Maybe they would be for chicken crust too. It's just chicken and Parmesan cheese, some pizza seasoning. That's the crust. It's delicious. Wow. Ground chicken. Yum.
Okay.
Killer. Very filling. Pretty tasty. Yummy. I don't know. I'm pretty excited about our little snacky dinner we're going to make tonight. I'm making mozzarella stuffed pickles.
Really? Now that's amazing. All right. Because I don't think I've ever heard of that. I'm going to guess it involves the beef mince pickle.
No.
Getting stuffed.
Nope. You a weirdo.
I know he is, but he's the one that we like.
Why would I want my pickle stuffed?
I don't know. After that sex ed lesson that you gave one bag in one podcast, how two penises meet together, they open up.
Isn't that how it works? The other penis opens to accept.
Yeah.
How it works.
Yeah. So anyway, that sounds like a great thing. So now that the Bead Man is currently out there looking for new ways to bring in income, what do you think the ultimate job would be for him?
Are you asking me or
when he says the ultimate job for him, that he didn't direct
I mean,
me.
I think he should get a fun job. Like I don't know, something fun. I mean, our job's all serious and just thankless a lot of the time. So I think a fun job.
What would classify as a fun job?
I mean, everybody has their own idea of fun. So his is obviously podcasting, but not making an income on that yet. So
we will one day.
Someday, yeah, someday.
All right.
I mean, he always says janitor because he likes to clean. So, I mean, if that's what he wants to do and that is fun, that would be not fun to me. Just like doing laundry, not fun to me. But
no, I don't want to work in a laundromat.
A lot of people like doing laundry. They find it like soothing, but nope. Doing laundry, not fun for me at all.
Well, back in my day, doing laundry was code for something else, so maybe that's why people liked it.
Oh, well, I mean, back in my day, doing laundry was fun too.
When I did that, have you listened to the watering hole with Skylar? Their Ronz. Have you listened to that at all?
Not yet. That's on my bucket list of things to do.
Yeah, and you can listen to that on Anchor or on Spotify. Anyway, when I did my interview with him, he was talking to me about the progression of my career and what I wanted to be and all that other stuff. And that got me to thinking about what I used to really want to be And I was like, maybe I should look into that. That would be kind of fun. But I'm wholly unqualified, so I'd actually have to go back to school, which would suck ass.
So what was it?
Yeah, what was it?
To work in forestry, like to work for the Department of Natural Resources.
Why do you think you're unqualified for it?
Well, because usually they do have to have some sort of an education in that regard, like in wildlife and forestry management.
I don't know. If you can spot what a tree looks like, you're good to go.
Well, I think that it's if we have any listeners who do that, I'm sure that the Ronz just completely insulted your profession. I don't think it's quite that easy.
Yeah, I think that it does require a degree because
It does.
do you remember that
Wildlife
one person from karate? She got an internship in like Yosemite Park or something.
Oh, vaguely, yeah.
The daughter, not you, Ronz, the
Who?
beef man
Who
from Tang Sudo.
No, I don't remember.
It was the mother and the daughter, same belt
Oh, is that
as
what
me.
she was doing?
That was what she was doing. Yep. And she went.
I know she wasn't a very attractive little thing.
She was practicing growing in her fur
Yeah,
keep her warm at her job.
She was kind of warm. Yeah, she was kind of.
She was a little fuzzy.
And God bless her, because
nice girl.
The scary thing about that, the sad thing about that is that I did not know that she was going to be into wildlife forestry management. Some Bigfoot is going to snatch her up right away.
I think so. Yes, maybe that was her goal, to blend in. But yes, she got to it took her. She went to school for that at I think Michigan State. I think.
Well, I mean, Michigan State used to be like this very huge agricultural college before it kind of blew up. That used to be like what it was known for back in the day.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she went to Michigan State for that, and then she got an internship at I think Yosemite Park, and so
probably like a wildlife engineer.
Something. I don't know. She was very smart though. I know she was.
Oh yeah, she was a smart kid.
A lot of
very
math
smart.
And stuff, science classes.
All things that the beef man is horrible at. Math and stuff.
So why not work for the local parks to get a jump on things?
That would be a great idea. Yeah, I could be one of those people who just stands at the gate. Oh wait, they don't need them anymore because they're not charging people, so you just go through.
They do.
I don't know. They
do need park rangers, believe it or not. They really do.
I am honestly considering looking into it, but it'd be one of those things that I would look into and probably not get hired for, and thus be even more depressed. Not that I'm depressed, because I'm not depressed. I'm actually happier than I've been in a long time. But
yeah, you sound happier. We don't like that for the podcast.
No.
And your feet don't hurt.
Yeah, my legs don't hurt. My arms don't hurt. My hands don't burn. That's all good stuff.
Why would your hands burn?
From constantly typing and having your hands on the computer like the whole entire 12-hour shift.
All right. Is that code for something that we should know about?
No, working legitimately, having carpal tunnel.
You have to chart.
Oh, well, I just heard he's on the computer and his hands are hurting. You do the math there. I know he's lousy at math. Put it together.
Math. What math is involved with that? Clearly, the Ronz is also not good at math because he thinks that's some sort of an equation.
Well, it's leading, but misleading. So, yeah, I mean, for the most part, our Thanksgiving was pretty much normal, right?
So, did you cook?
I was not allowed to cook because...
I thought you were the cooker in the
house. I was. Cooking. I did help by fisting the turkey. That was awesome. I did.
Fisted a turkey.
I fisted a turkey. I got it out. Fisted a girl. Yeah, I was asked... We have a rule here in the household that whoever wants to cook can cook, but the other person has to stay out of the kitchen pretty much because we have a small kitchen. And I'm a guy who preps. I've watched a lot of cooking shows. I like to cook. I've liked that since I was in high school. So I like to prep and get all my meals ready, or get all my ingredients in my pots and pans ready, all the stuff. And my wife, I love her, would say, my wife said, she loves to cook Thanksgiving meal. That's her thing. So I said, okay, I'll tell you what, if you need my help, I'm here. If you don't, I'll just go downstairs or do something. I'm like, okay. So she calls me into the kitchen. I was like, hi, can you get this off? I'm like, yeah, I can get off. She says, no, get this off. I'm like, yeah, I can get that off. And there was this plastic band around the turkey legs, and I did that. And I'm
why did you take that off? You don't have to take that off. You don't have to take that off while you cook it. You just leave it on.
Doesn't that melt at high heat?
No, it says specifically on the package, leave it on.
Well, some people do, some people don't.
No, they don't. No, you guys are the only ones who take it off.
Well, anyway, it doesn't bother me.
Serves a purpose.
What's the
keeps
purpose?
the legs together, man, so they're not all flailing around and stuff.
Well, if they're flailing around, your turkey's not fucking dead. That's all there is to it. I mean, so anyway, she goes, can you grab the that piece in there? I'm like, yeah. Where is it? It's like deep inside the turkey. So I stick my hand inside this turkey, and it's like I could still feel that it's got some little bits of ice and frozen to it. So I put some water inside, some hot water, and it makes this sloshing sound. And I'm like, wow, never thought I'd be fishing a turkey. That's a good sound, actually. I like that sound.
So we don't want to know what Ronz is doing with his turkey.
So I'm fishing this turkey, trying to grab the giblets, I guess.
Giblets?
I don't know.
It's a good one. Giblets? I call it a giblet. Swan also calls it a giblet.
I don't know.
I call them giblets.
I said giblets. So.
Giblets?
No,
I pull out this long...
Giblets.
Yeah, I say giblets.
So I pull out this long 6-inch flaccid thing, and I'm like, I guess that's the neck. I'm like, oh my Lord, I just fisted a turkey and I pulled out a penis. I'm like, oh, why do they just...
Don't everybody thinks that.
Okay. Well, anyway, I goes, where's the giblet? She says, you have to go get it from the other side. I'm like, what? So she gets out this knife or whatever. She cuts it, makes this incision. It's like, now you got to stick your hand in on the other side. So I'm fisting this
like a really prolonged endeavor here. I didn't have that problem at all. I didn't have to cut anything open. It's already cut open. All you just pull out the bag in the front and pull out the neck from the inside. That's it.
I didn't know any of this. I don't make
Why did she have you do it in the first place? Why couldn't she do it? She got smaller hands than you.
Yes, but women like big fists and small holes, I guess. I don't know. So
I'm gonna have a chat with your wife, man. I don't know what's going on at your house.
Anyway, I managed to insert and pull out and making sloshing noises. This was a pretty heavy bird. This is about a 20, 30-pound bird, I guess. Or I don't know how.
3 of you? You had a 20 or 30-pound bird for the 3 of you?
Yeah.
That's
my
crazy.
wife likes to go all out for this thing.
So you're eating turkey like for the next month or what?
I guess so. It doesn't bother me. I don't have to cook. Right. Plus, I got to fish something. So I'm looking at that.
It doesn't sound like that was a new experience for you.
Well, being on the receiving end isn't, but this wasn't,
At least you just
said that being hold on now. He just said that being on the receiving end isn't new for him.
Correct.
So that means that you get fisted all the time.
Well, not all the time. Didn't you bend over in the military to cough? Didn't they put the hands on their hips and tell you to cough?
The hands on my hips? No, that did not happen.
Wow.
Nope.
That's completely different.
Sorry.
Did they teach you that in fueling school?
Maybe I went to the wrong military thing. Yeah.
It sounds like you weren't even in the military when that happened.
That could be.
Sounds like you went through the wrong door.
So anyway, I went back and Carrie likes to cook. It's her kitchen. If she needs me to do something, I go in, I help out, and then I leave. It's all her, not me. All right. And that's all I did. So, yeah.
Good job. Very proud of you. Proud of your action.
So when you cook the Thanksgiving, is it a family deal or does it just one person just run the entire show?
We did it as a together project this year. We just make sides and we take it all to the beef man's parents' house, but we didn't do that this year. So we cooked everything by ourselves.
Did you get the daughter involved and Skylar involved, or did they just not help out?
They peeled potatoes. I think that's the only thing they did.
Okay.
And then they quote cleaned up after. But really, they just put everything in containers and put it out on the deck because it's cold out there and there was not much room in the refrigerator. Although there really was. They could have put it in the refrigerator, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, I'm thinking if you left it outside, you might get some of those coyotes that look like bears or whatever come out and eat them.
Yeah, if the coyotes come across, so there's always some small Mexican children on top of them.
Yeah, and I've been liking that, watching that. So now that Trump has seceded, right?
Has
And
he? You mean conceded? I haven't heard
yeah,
him concede
I
the election.
I think he did eventually.
When? I haven't
Actually,
heard.
I
that's
think
what I
his
heard.
people have, but he
Yeah.
hasn't
I don't
yet,
think he has.
technically.
So, do you think it's what's the next step? I should say, what is the next step for the Bee Man and his followers as they step down like Trump? Because it's obvious I won.
No,
Right.
no,
It's
that's
obvious I
not.
won.
Delusional.
You are delusional. You didn't win. You're delusional.
All
You
right.
didn't win. I won.
Come the 21st or the 22nd, I guess.
I don't think anybody wants you in charge of the Slaptail Nation.
Oh, no, I am not in charge of the Slaptail Nation. I'll follow you into
Nobody
hell.
wants you in charge of that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Nobody needs that. No. What would be the next step? Are you talking about for real world? What do you think the next step?
Yeah,
What do you think
yeah, what do you
President-elect
think-
Biden is going to do?
Yeah.
I think he's going to spend a good part of his first administrative year mending a bunch of shattered relationships with large organizations like the World Health Organization and getting us back into the Paris Accord and, mending relationships with foreign nations that were our friends that Trump pissed off. That's what I think is going to happen. And obviously, he's going to do his best to tackle the coronavirus, but since he's not going to be able to have any power until January, we're kind of fucked until then.
You really think so?
Yes, I really think so. We've already handled it extremely poorly because some dumb fuck doesn't believe in science, and we're finally going to get somebody in who does. But by then, we've already lost 250,000 people. That's ridiculous. It hasn't even been a year that we've been experiencing this issue here in the United States. Well, recorded-wise, I think that it was here, but it's just my opinion.
No. Okay, so since we've been in lockdown, basically, what have you missed? For me, I know what I've missed this year, but what have you guys have really missed?
Nothing. The only thing that I've missed is podcasting in person.
I
That's it.
appreciate that. Yeah, I've missed the Walmart riots. Every year on Black Friday, I look forward to seeing those videos out there of those people fighting over to the death for a crock pot.
Oh, so you don't actually go, you just watch the aftermath videos.
Oh yeah, definitely. Right. I'm not going to go.
That was actually two questions. Which part is it that you were saying yes to? So you do go or you don't go?
Oh, I don't go.
Okay.
I've been to one Black Friday sale, but it was really mellow. Right. That was. I had one of the things I really wanted was a hammock. Right. And yeah, I like to camp. I like to, I really do love to camp. And one of the things I really wanted was a hammock. And one of the rules I have with myself is I won't buy anything expensive or too expensive for camping gear. And I looked at hammocks, and a really good hammock will run you $40 on up. That's kind of expensive for me, really. And I said I won't buy a hammock unless for anything unless it's $10.
How many times do you think you said hammock?
I don't know, 4 or 5.
Probably
I think.
10
Keep
at
going.
least.
Well, anyway,
So
I
what were
said-
you shopping for?
a
A
hammock.
hammock.
A hammock. That's twice so far, and I wouldn't. And I never asked
So
for.
you didn't want to pay more than
So
$10
he wants a $10
for a
hammock.
You want a $10 hammock.
Yeah, and I finally found one on a Black Friday sale at one of the local stores, but you had to get up and go get one. So I got one for me, one for Carrie, and one for RJ.
So were there a lot of people fighting for hammocks?
Believe it or not, no, it was very.
I do
No.
believe you. I do believe you that there was not a bunch of people
when I
fighting
went
for
into the
hammocks.
store, it was calm. Everybody was kind of helping each other out. Unlike you look at Walmart, which is just the complete opposite, or for that matter, any other store out there. Right? And that's the one thing that got me. It's like I expected riots, but I didn't see
Over a
riots.
hammock? You felt like you were you're gonna reach for this hammock, and there'd be 50 other people reaching for the hammock at the same time. There's gonna be some big fight over a hammock.
Yeah.
You thought that. You really in your mind, you're like, I gotta get the fuck up early because there's gonna be a lot of people trying to go get this hammock.
Yeah, I got what my hammock is rated, I think, at 250 or 400 pounds, and that's at
That's
least
a big difference. Like, oh,
It's between
No, no.
250 and 400 pounds. So
No,
much
but
so that you have to be really careful what kind of tree you attach these to, because otherwise it's going to bend in.
well, that's the weight it can hold. However, the thing about that is, when you look at online for something like that, that's $40 to $100, and that's a lot of money, right? If you're going to just go camping,
$4,200 is a lot of money.
yeah, $4,200 is a lot of money.
For a
Boy,
hammock.
you were
is your
so
hammock one size fits most?
yeah, it is.
He's like a 450. You just look like a big. You look like a big Easter ham in the hammock.
No, I was.
Is that,
I
is that a
it's
giant
rated
Easter ham,
capacity.
or is there
It's
somebody
rated
who's 450 pounds in a hammock? What 450-pound person is going to purchase a hammock?
You're right about that, but usually they have two people in them, right? So
Okay,
if
well that would make more
So that
sense than
would-
one 450-pound person getting in a hammock. But then again, you're still like there's a couple 200-pounders in a hammock. That doesn't sound very comfortable either.
well, I'm not going to go into the logistics.
How are they going to get out of it?
I'm not going to go into the logistics of things. I won't disagree with you on that. However, it's just one thing I've always wanted, and I had to get up early to go get it.
I don't think you
So,
needed to. I think
How
you could have-
often
I
have
think you
you
could have
used
slept
said
in.
hammock?
I've used it maybe once or twice because when I go down to South Haven, there's no place to put my hammock up, or I would.
Because it's a beach.
No, they actually, you know what? You can actually put your hammock up on the pier, right? You can string it up and you can sit and watch the sunset. But I haven't done that. Or if I go out,
I think it was a wasted purchase.
no,
Even
I
though
don't.
you saved so much money on it.
No, it's
And got up early for that.
no, I don't think so. It's
No.
what I wanted. No.
All right,
Jeez.
fine.
Now, I agree with I kind of agree with you, Ronz. I've always wanted a hammock myself, but I wanted the one that, that's in between the metal framework that I could put in my backyard and just lounge on.
Oh yeah.
So I got one of those and pretty excited about it, but I almost never use it because I did not realize that I've not used a hammock since I broke my back, and lying in one is extremely uncomfortable for me, so I was extremely disappointed. So I really don't use it. That sucks.
Yeah. I understand. It's just one of those things I've always wanted. When I went,
Did you always want one?
I
I
always
always
did.
wanted a hammock.
When I go hiking or geocaching out in the woods, I mean, there are a lot of great spots. In fact, a couple of spots I go to, you can always spot people with hammocks just hanging,
Just
stringing up.
hanging out in their hammock.
Yeah, you can actually. It's one of those things where it's like people just set up and watch the sunset or just hang out, right? And mine is really compressible and it's really easy to, take with me. Now, I would really like
Well,
to.
most hammocks are not gigantic. You don't have to. It's not like you got to put them in a giant duffel bag.
Well, yeah, I agree with that too. But one of the things I really wanted was
Hammock?
a hammock was an double
Was it
nest.
a hammock? Was that one of those things you really wanted?
Yeah, I wanted an double nest hammock, but those were like $70, and I'm like, I am not going to pay $70 for something I'm rarely going to use, though, right? But it's sort of like that. So also, before I want to sidetrack real quick here. Congratulations to both of you on completing your quest for, or your diligence during the your exercise podcast part. I'm forgetting how
Our
what it
Lace
was
Up,
called.
Get Fit for the
Yeah,
Boot
that
Camp
was it.
fundraiser.
Yeah, that was a fantastic thing.
Yes, thank you for your anonymous donation of $106 there, Ronz.
No, that wasn't me.
I know that wasn't you.
However, it would be nice if you guys are going to change the damn passwords for me to get in so I can post shit for you. After you said, hey, Ronz, you should be posting more. I'm like, okay. And I went to post something. I'm like, that's odd. Why am I not in?
Yeah,
Because you
would have
forgot
known
the
that
password?
had you actually posted on a regular basis. I changed the password a long time ago.
That's okay. I can still get in. All right.
Yeah.
Use his hacker
And you changed the
skills.
password, but didn't let me know that you changed the password.
How do I know it's you? I don't know if it's you.
How wouldn't you know?
Yeah, how would I know? Well, I could talk to the Swans and she could tell me.
Swans doesn't know anything about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, we did have a fair amount of donators to the boot campaign, and I did say that I would mention people. So again, thank you, Katharina Qualls, for your large donation. Miguel Wood for your large donation, who actually put me over the top. I had an anonymous donor. I bet I know who that donor was, but I'm not going to say in case I'm wrong. And I know it wasn't the Ronz. No, it was not him. Also, thank you to my good friend Andrew Dixon. He donated to the boot campaign as well. And boy, I don't know who else donated to the boot campaign. Oh, I did. I also donated to the boot campaign. Who all was on my page? Let me see.
My people who know who they are and they're awesome. They don't need me to mention them. I'll just generally blanket thank them because I've already personally thanked them.
Did you though?
I did.
Does anyone really believe that that's what you did?
Yes, they do.
So how much?
I didn't. I got all of my money without the help of my millionaire friend.
Bruce Wayne.
Yes, Batman.
And a shout out to Sammy for being so incorrigible for you guys.
Incorrigible?
Incorrigible.
Incorrigible? Right. Incorrigible? Is that a word? Incorrigible?
It is.
Now. Ron's just made it up.
Mm-hmm.
Another fine example of the U.S. language, the English language, if you will, from the Ronz. Thank you, Ronz.
Oh, hey, anytime. You can tell you're so much more mellower. This podcast, you have not been so
more mellower.
Would you like him to yell at you? Are you feeling like you need to be yelled at?
Well, you little sadist. No, I'm not.
Well, you're egging him on. You want him to be mad?
No,
he's in a little tiny room by himself.
Did you put him there?
No, he put himself there. He asked me kindly not to barricade the door, but.
No, congratulations once again to both of you though for your campaign, your and all the goals that you guys set. It was truly inspirational to a lot of people out there.
Oh, my son, he donated. That too. My son donated. Thank you, Skylar Beavers, for donating to the Slaptail Squad. And you can catch his podcast, The Watering Hole, on Anchor and on Spotify.
So
didn't Carrie Stars and Stripes or donate?
Oh, you're right. Also, yes, Carrie from Carrie Stars and Stripes Coffee also donated. So thank you to Carrie. So check out her page at Carrie Scars and Stripes, and you can find her on Carrie's Brew on Instagram, and you can buy some coffee from her. And she still hasn't sent the Ronz any coffee.
No, she hasn't. But then again, I'm glad enough to know about her, right?
Why is that?
Why is that? It's just because
you just want to know about people.
Well, no,
because it makes him happy.
It does because knowing
is half
and I'm probably gonna. No, I'm going to probably say this wrong. Dabs? Are they called Dabs or Daves? Disabled veterans.
I don't ever call. I didn't know that they went by any specific.
Well, they don't go by Chads or Karens, so Dabs, right? But because it helps with suicide awareness among veterans and the general public, of course, that's really a noble idea. It really is. I mean, especially during the holidays when people are going to start to get depressed. They're going to miss their families and everything. So, I mean, it's great. We know too many people out there who just hang out. And I don't know what it was like for you in the Army, but for me, when I was in the military, the Air Force, the first time I went to Thanksgiving dinner on base, it was bizarre because there were the commanders serving us dinner. They were dressed to the nines and they were serving us dinner, and I thought I'd fucked up because here are full bird colonels and majors and captains serving the troops, right? Little did I know that was tradition, and that's also for morale. So for anybody who doesn't know what that does, shout out to if you need, that's what it does, right?
No, you know what happened to me my first Thanksgiving in the Army.
What's
my
that?
roommate and I woke up late. And we didn't know when they were finished serving Thanksgiving dinner in the DFAC, and we missed it.
Now, what's DFAC?
Dining facility.
Oh.
Short for dining facility. So we missed it. So our very first Thanksgiving away from home in Germany, he and I, we went to basic training and airborne school together. And we ended up in the first duty assignment together. Yes, we missed Thanksgiving dinner. So we ate MREs in our room.
Oh,
Yum.
yeah, no,
Totally the
it's
same.
Yep, we actually had I had a turkey MRE. That's what I had.
wow. Had I would have known that, I would have probably did nothing because there's
Exactly.
nothing
How
to
you
do.
would have known? Yeah. What difference
Yeah,
would it make? You're like some guy just had to have. Yeah, that never happened again though. After that, yes, you better believe we made it to every holiday meal that we could after that because they are usually fucking awesome.
they are.
They
They go
bring
out of
out a
their ways.
shitload of food. Yeah, they do. It's probably one of the better holiday meals I've ever had. Is in the military.
Mhm.
But you always have to remember too. What a lot of people don't know is that um, there are chef or cook competitions always going on in the military. So you might get lucky and one of your dining facility cooks is actually an award-winning chef, and you can get some pretty good food.
I agree. I agree.
People rip on the military dining facilities, but I don't know. I don't think I ever had really too many bad meals except for basic training.
No, I don't know. I had a couple of patients that I know were cooks and chefs, and they got some pretty good memories, or they share some pretty good recipes that sound tasty.
One thing I've always found out, though, or I've heard, is that Air Force chow halls are better than the
Well, of course,
other.
yes, that is a generally that is an accepted fact. Yes, it's because um, one, I assume you guys get more money for food. Two, you're all a bunch of fat bastards, so you have to eat all the time.
I don't think so, but
They
okay.
can fly their fish in fresh.
And three, they always have people there, whereas we are usually deployed somewhere. So no, we don't have to be in the dining facility.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard stories about that. I never experienced it.
Yeah, you guys get steak and lobster,
Lobster.
shrimp, and all that shit, and we don't. So
I
Crab
don't
legs
think I
on
only
Fridays.
the once a year, only for holidays do we get stuff like that.
I don't think I've ever had that, but I've gone to some pretty wicked barbecues.
There is when I was in the 82nd, what we would do is every once in a while the chow halls up and down our dens were different. Some people, and you could go to any chow hall you wanted to. It didn't matter. So you just took your ID card and signed in, or you paid if you were getting separate rations because you were married or whatever. But just the difference is up and down. Like the Special Forces dining facility had better food than ours.
Now,
Like you got hot dogs and macaroni and cheese, and they had steak and.
Well,
You know,
they didn't. I mean, it's like they just had better. They just had a better facility. The facilities were nicer, but you have to usually. I think probably a part of it is they don't serve quite the amount of. They don't quite have the amount of people that they're feeding as a regular chow hall does. So they just crank out regular bullshit at a regular chow hall, but the other ones can crank out some better stuff.
I don't think the food would be any better than that, because if that ever got out, there would be this dissension.
No,
But
it's a common belief. Everybody believes that the Air Force has better food than the rest of us.
but when it comes down to competition, yeah. So you were in Germany, I was in the Netherlands.
Nobody said anything about competition. We didn't say anything about competition. We just said that it's a common belief that the Air Force has better food.
No,
Just like
but
they have better living facilities.
You said
they
that
have
something
you
about
said they
cook
went to
chef
quarters.
competition.
Yeah, you said they have chef competitions, so that's where they hone their skills sometimes. All right.
I wasn't. I would. That's usually within branches.
Well, sometimes they go branch against
Oh,
branch.
I'm sure they do too, but I was just talking in general within branches.
So
Like we had to get stationed on this top of this mountain, which was ridiculous. What was the name of that? Oh, Mount Meisner in Germany.
okay.
It was one of the only few quote outposts that was right next to the Germans. It was like an what would you call it? A holdover from when the wall was up and all that other stuff. So you were on top of this mountain, and it was this tiny outpost, and you had to do these shifts, and you could see the Germans right next to you on the other side of the fence, and they were doing their patrols or whatever. And so, in other words, it was outdated. Nobody needed it. It didn't need to be there anymore. Holdover from the Cold War, whatever. Anyway, the chef that they had up there, she was actually married to the commander, and she didn't follow like the standard army cookbook because they have a standard, they have standards that they follow for making food for, potato salad for 50 people. And so she made like stuff from scratch all the time, and apparently she'd won competitions and everything too. So when we were up there at Mount Miser for like a month, I actually gained weight because she fed us all the time. And then she would bring us food out to the guard shack too, so we were always eating very delicious food. One of the few times I gained weight.
So, what was the wildest place you went while you were in the military?
The wildest place? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like in what way?
Well, you were stationed in Germany, and
Yes, I know. You already said that. Thanks for
yeah, thank you.
Thanks
Yeah,
for to know.
well, I'm leading up to this because the Swan's not going to know this part, but you will. So I'm
you will know.
Yes, you will. So I'm going to mention a place, but she won't know about it, but you will. So I'm going to mention.
I mean,
I will.
You don't know if I know geography or not.
Okay, I'll mention K-Town.
Yeah, like totally. I've been there.
No, you have not. Trust me. So, did you go to K-Town?
Isn't that Kaiserslautern?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So that
I've been there. It's not memorable. I don't remember anything about it.
Because when I was over there, every weekend they made the news about the Army just being totally wild and shutting that place down or starting fights.
Well, I mean, we started fights everywhere we went, so that was not uncommon. That's just a thing. I mean, I didn't start fights.
Not that you would know.
No, I think I would know if I started. I think I would know if I started fights. Yeah,
that's where selective memory comes in. Like, what did you do? I don't know. I'm not going to get in trouble if I say it.
I didn't start fights. I mean, I was involved in fights, but I didn't start any fights. There were plenty of people who had really bad tempers that I was stationed with that started fights. They didn't need me to do it.
But it's like, I think the wildest place I've been to was I was in Duchy Momano, and that's off in Italy, and it was at a NATO base. And someone says, you got to go to the British NCO club or the British club on base. And I said, okay. They said, just remember, you got to duck under a table. And I looked at them and I'm like, why? It's like, you'll find out. Well, the British clubs was known for their beer can fights. And sure enough, a couple of them erupted out. And you see this big slide metal grate come down over the bar real quick. You see people duck underneath the table. And when they were done throwing it, they would come back up like nothing ever happened. Right? So that was wild. So that was a wild time. It's like, someone says something or someone gets sprayed with beer. Next thing you know, there's a beer can flying through the air. So half full, empty, whatever. And they continued on partying through the night. So I figured pretty much you went to a place like that or knew something as crazy as that.
None of it's memorable because shit like that happened all the time.
All the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, probably something that you wouldn't understand. I'm assuming you wouldn't understand this, but as an airborne infantryman, which is what I was, everywhere you go, people seem to think that, the airborne infantry are the enemies of the MPs. They're the enemies of the engineers. They're the enemies of the artillery. So everywhere you go, everybody assigns you as, quote, the enemy of this other job or MOS of the military. So everywhere you go, people are always starting shit with the airborne infantry. Most of the time, it's not. I want to say most of the time. I don't think that we were the ones who were usually starting shit. People always started shit with us all the time because they had this preconceived notion like, oh, we got to get into fights with the airborne infantry because that's our thing, because they're the enemy of everybody. I'm like, all right, whatever, fuck you.
When I was in the military, I asked someone, I didn't ask, but someone was telling me about how we were considered the bastard squadron of the base.
The fuelers? The refuelers?
Yeah, yeah, they were.
Such badasses.
Yeah.
The bastards. They refueler.
I asked.
Refueler.
When the senior staff would sit around and talk to us, right?
Is it because you guys lost your buttons all the time?
It's because we lost a lot of buttons. They would say that they would walk into chow halls or whatever, and they'd be friendly until they found out who they were. We're fuels. And then they get left alone. I'm like, why? It's like,
probably because you guys smelled and they were afraid that they were going to piss positive or because they were huffing. Being around you, they were depriving their brains of oxygen.
Yeah, I don't think that was the case. But I do appreciate the effort of, where do you come up with that shit?
What? What
Huffing.
you don't know that's what huffing does? Deprives your brain of oxygen. That's why they quote unquote get high.
I've worked around a lot of fuel. I don't think
I can tell.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Hello.
know. I believe we've stated that over and over again. We can tell that you've worked
I
around
think
a lot
it
of fuel.
causes dyslexia.
I love how your memory comes back to that. That's fantastic. No, it was just one of those things.
And not only
Yeah.
does it cause dyslexia, it also causes that one condition. So
Where you
that condition that the Ronz has,
Tourette's?
when he likes to say words quickly for brevity, he likes to add an extra letter.
Yeah, I do actually. I think a sentence could use a little bit more
I've always found that to be
pizzazz.
probabilistically, galactically.
Yeah, I kind of.
Galactically.
Yeah, that's a good word. I have no idea what it means, but it's a good word.
Yeah.
Right. So, what since we're talking about way off topic, what I wanted to talk about, but Thanksgiving memories in the military and everything. What was the one thing you missed about being away from Thanksgiving?
What was it that I missed about being away from Thanksgiving?
Yeah, family. I
You
mean,
mean from family Thanksgiving?
yeah.
You mean all
Well-
this year?
Well, when you were in the military, what's the one thing you missed? Because you were pretty young, so you were more than willing to just
I don't
say,
know,
okay.
dude. When everybody talks about their whiny bullshit like that, I always ask them, like, what was your job? I mean, what job did you do? Why are you such a whiny bitch? I mean, seriously, when I hear people say that, I'm like, you know what? Nobody acted like that around us. And I mean, we all were having fun doing what we wanted to do. So most of us were not, the people that did whine, I mean, and there were people that were like, oh, I miss my family. You're like, shut the fuck up. What the fuck is your problem? Seriously, stop being a whiny little bitch. Most of the time, we were having fun. I mean, let's put it this way. I spent 2 years in Germany. How many countries do you think I went and saw, like, on a tourist basis?
15, 16? I don't know.
None. I went and saw none.
You were a
Because-
barracks rat?
Barracks rat? No, I didn't mean I hung out in the barracks. I mean, we did stuff around there. We hung out together and did shit.
Oh, okay.
We didn't go hop on. I mean, yes, you could go hop on the train and you could go to all kinds of different countries. Did any of us do that? Nope. We just
No.
hung out with each other and did shit.
No, why didn't you do that? No, because
I just told you why.
No,
Because
personally,
as an 18-year-old, why would I sit there and go, oh, you know what I really want to do? I want to go to France and check it out. Fuck no, none of us did that.
see, I traveled around to the different cities. I mean, you were stationed
In Germany?
no, you were stationed above me where I was in the Netherlands. So, I mean, both of us were somewhat centrally located to going wherever there. Was the Cold War over by the time you got there?
Yes, the wall had come down. Yeah.
All right, so the wall was coming down when I was there, so I could not go over to Germany without a briefing, right? I mean, I could go to Germany to a point, but I could not go as far as I needed or I would like to go. But I did travel to
Why would you
England
want to go to the shit part of Germany?
to see if it was true.
Why? You know what? Like, I could stay in the the nice area of Germany, or I could go to where it's complete abject poverty under communist thumbs.
Well, that's the one thing.
Why would
I
you
mean,
want to do that?
because I wanted to see if it was true.
Why?
Right? I just told you I wanted to see if it was actually true. How many times did we hear that they were the enemy?
They are the enemy.
Yeah,
Fuck
well,
them.
of course, yeah.
You're saying the
we-
Russians aren't the enemy?
I'm saying I wanted to see what was really going on over there. Now, I don't think that we were misled, but I wanted to see how bad it was.
And you think
Really.
by taking a train to go see East Berlin, you're going to see how you, Fueler Ronz, are going to take. You're going to all of a sudden get this in-depth perspective of what life was like over there to see if you've been lied to.
Maybe. I mean,
Maybe.
I mean,
As opposed to looking at the beautiful part of Germany.
well, how
I
many
mean, if
times?
you're gonna be a tourist, why would you go look at the shit part?
I'm just one of those guys who always.
Ronz is the
You're
one
like, I just
like
like
your
the
father
I know.
when
I
he
never.
went to
I never
Mexico.
follow the same path as everybody else. When you hear
Ronz
about
is
an
the
you're
one-
usually lost.
Yeah,
No.
Ronz will be the one like your father when we went to Mexico. Don't go off. Don't go out of the resort. Don't go out. And then next thing you know, where the fuck is he? Out in the middle of nowhere in the unsafe part, just checking things out, making friends.
Tourist.
Well, what do you know about Amsterdam? I mean,
What
you
do
were
you
pretty
know?
close to it, right? Now, when I went down there, I knew about Amsterdam. I knew about the seedy parts, but I also knew about the touristy parts too.
Donkey shows.
Yes, I did. Right?
You participated in donkey shows.
I did not participate. You can't prove it. The
Fisted by a
pictures don't
donkey at a
exist.
donkey show.
Right? I actually went to a lot of the tourist spots, but I also knew where to go around Amsterdam. Right? I remember walking into bars where there were Hell Angels, right? And that was never advertised.
In Amsterdam, they are called Hell Angels.
And he knows some. He met some.
And
He's
now it's
friends
okay
with
for
them.
him to talk
And now
about
yes.
But
now I can tell you everything about them because I've seen one.
Oh, okay. There you go. But I never, it's like
And
when
he
I went
went
down
in. He was like, "Come here often."
Excuse me there, Hell Angel.
Are you
Hell Angel?
No, it's sort of like, when I went to the local towns. I never went to where everybody was going to. I always wanted to see everything else. I mean, that's the way I was down in London. I went down to London a couple of times, right? And I saw things for what I wanted to see. I went on pub crawls. I did things that no one else would do, right? Just because I wanted to see what it was like. And to me, I just wanted to see what it was. How do I put this correctly? I just wanted to see what the other side really looked like, other than someone telling me what it looked like.
What's the other side? What do you mean by that?
The dark side.
The dark side. The dark side. When you go down and you look at.
So you went and intentionally did things that they tell you in the safety briefings not to do.
I never did that at all.
Well, then you didn't go to the quote dark side. So you weren't really doing anything too seedy because you just said that you weren't violating any of the safety briefings. So you weren't really doing anything that risky.
I didn't say I couldn't handle myself. I
you can handle yourself because you're black.
Ronz is a black belt.
I am. And I listened to Squeegee Snot's new demo out. So, by the way,
They don't even exist.
I'm sorry, they do. You don't know that. I'll get them on.
You can't even Google them because nothing comes up.
Here is the Slaptail Squad and Slaptail Nation has a lifetime ban on whatever that ban you're talking about is. So,
but so anyway,
So you've been fisted in London. You've been fisted in Amsterdam. You fisted
right. So anyway, that's where I was going with that. And lately, a lot of things have been pissing me off, but I don't want to.
What? Tell us what pisses you off. You got 15 minutes. Go.
15 minutes. Well, the latest cartoons that are coming out, animation, right, is not really up to par.
That's what pissed you off. Well, please go into detail about this because now I'm interested. You're pissed off. Everything that's going on in the world right now, but you're pissed off about the latest animation because it's not up to par.
Not animation. Well, I can't get pissed off at politics until everything's in place. If I'm going to get pissed off at politics, I'm going to fall into the norm like everybody else here, right? What's there to get pissed off? I can't control that shit yet. No one can.
Literally, nobody can.
Yeah. So what's there to get pissed off about?
No, right now, there's no point in getting pissed off about it because all you're going to do is argue with people who assume that because you have a viewpoint different than them, that you are going to have a viewpoint different than them about everything, which I think is probably the most ignorant view of everyone right now.
I think it's more idiotic than ignorant. Ignorance you can change. Idiocy you can't.
Well, I'm
not going to argue with an idiotic point.
But if you voted for, this is what I find always is so amusing, is that if you voted for Biden, that makes people think that you have to agree with everything that Biden says. The same thing with Trump. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Like you vote, I vote based on who I think is going to do the most benefit for that office. That doesn't mean I agree with everything they say.
And I agree with that. I really do. I mean, there are going to be certain policies I don't always going to agree with anybody. The other thing I don't want to argue about is just people in general. I mean, we've had a couple people that test positive for COVID, and people aren't wearing their masks. And I'm livid. I really want to walk up to people going, do you know how to properly wear a mask? Right. And it's pissing me off that they don't. Right. And it's obvious. Now, to that tune, though, I was out buying a tool. I needed a tool. I went to Harbor Freight. Great place.
Tool.
Yeah, I did.
He needed a tool.
I needed a tool.
And he bought a tool.
For his fisting.
For my fisting. Thank you. And this guy comes up out of the store. He comes from the back. He's like, I'm sorry, I got to go out to my truck. I forgot to put my mask on. And he was so cool about it because he forgot his mask. He's like walking around public. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't have my mask on. And the guy reaches behind the counter, right? The clerk or the store clerk, and pulls out and says, here, you can take this. So kudos to the people who think, oh shit, I'm not wearing a mask. I need to put one on. That's great.
How do you even forget, though?
A lot of people
That's
do.
what I don't understand. Like, if you wear a mask as often as, yeah, I don't know how people forget.
You know what pisses me off? People who rip them off like it's hindering them as soon as they get out of the building.
Yeah.
Like, does that really give you some satisfaction?
Well, yeah, it does. I mean,
No,
my hot breath
it
coming
doesn't.
back at me constantly, even though it smells minty and coffee-like, but I don't like. Today, when I was trying to read the package of how to fist a turkey properly, I don't know whether
What's really sad is Thanksgiving's already passed, so you're looking forward to fisting another turkey.
I am. I can't wait for it.
You're researching it.
And I'm wearing my mask, one of my masks, and my glasses started steaming up, and it pissed me off. So I took it off, and I put on my secondary mask, which was a lot bigger for my face. But they don't make masks to
Fat
work
faces?
with. Yeah, to work with glasses too much. So
well, you have to keep wearing the mask. The reason why it doesn't work with your glasses is because your glasses are colder. So once they reaching the same temperature, they're not going to steam up anymore.
Oh,
hot air is hitting a cold surface.
And who says science doesn't pay off? Someone ought to hire you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. If there's any jobs out there for a janitor, please keep me in mind.
So your ultimate job would be to work for a janitorial company. Have you thought about starting your own company?
Actually, honestly, I had thought about maybe starting my own cleaning company and just targeting medical offices.
Have you thought about crime scenes?
Actually, you know what? One of the guys who used to do jujitsu with us, he's actually, he's out west. He was out west fighting fires. But he had a friend who did that, who cleans up, crime scenes or where people have died and nobody knows they died and they go, just from natural causes or whatever. And he was telling me about that. And I said, dude, I would totally do that. If you run, I'm like, ask your friend how I get into that. I would totally do that because apparently they make a lot of money for one thing and not many people could do it. I'm like, I could totally do that. Who gives a shit?
So what would you expect to find at one of these crime scene cleanups? Because I've talked to a few people myself.
I mean, anything like shitloads of blood, gore, I mean, you don't just clean it. I'm assuming you have to maybe there's different crews that come in. There's other crews that come in and, redo the area or whatever. But yeah, I'm sure you're going to wear a shitload of protective gear. So who cares?
Yeah, I think
you're still providing a service. I mean, you're providing a service. It sounds like a pretty good gig to me.
Yeah, well, you with your medical background and you could handle all the crack needles and whatever it is. So I mean,
I'm sure they do it safely. It's not like they're going to do it all, fucked up and disregard for personal safety and the care of their employees like the place that I just worked for did.
No, that's why those people make a lot of money because they're trained to deal with like hazmat type situations.
Yeah, great skill to have. I mean, I'm sure you would see some stuff, but I mean, really, I don't know. I've seen some stuff that doesn't really bother me.
Like what? What have you seen that doesn't bother you?
I don't know. I could probably tell you some stuff that might bother people a little bit. Like I can remember a time, I remember once that I was working and I just happened to be, I was standing by, we used to have these doors that were electronic doors that would open into the emergency room. And I was standing at the desk near the doors that open, and I could hear this screaming from the waiting room. And of course, at that time, they're like, "Hey, Beef Man, the majority of the people that work in the medical field, most people don't know this. The majority of the staff are going to be of nursing, and most of nursing is female. So there's not a lot of males. So they would, a lot of times, if there was something that they perceived might be dangerous, they're like, "Hey, Beef Man, can you go check that out?" And I'm like, "Why? I don't want to get my ass kicked." But whatever, I'll go check it out. Sure, I'll go check this out. I go out to the waiting room, and there's this young lady screaming and crying, and she just shoves this baby in my hand. She's like, "Save my baby." And I grabbed the baby, full well knowing that baby was dead, because as soon as she shoved it into my hands, I could tell it was dead.
Ooh.
And so, I turn around with this dead baby in my hands and start to walk into the, run into the emergency room. And one of the nurses that I have a lot of respect for, she grabbed that baby from me and started providing rescue breathing and stuff. But, and of course she was fucked up after that for a while. And, but stuff like that's disturbing. I can remember a time where I had this patient who was, clearly pregnant, but didn't know she was pregnant. And we had to deliver her baby that was dead, and we coded the baby for like, I don't know, a good 30-40 minutes to try to get it, make sure it was alive. But stuff like that I'm sure upsets people, or seeing dead children, that sucks.
Yeah, that's part of the field. I mean, so
not necessarily. I mean, it's really not part of the field. It depends what part of the field you work in. There's plenty of people that are never going to see stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the Swan just saved somebody the other day.
Hey,
Oh,
we're not even going to talk about that.
Did you know that, Ronz?
No, I did not.
Heard this story? I would be remiss if I didn't bring that up for the last 10 minutes. This is an amazing story, Ronz.
Please.
You
know what?
Do you know that there are good people out there who save people every single fucking day as their job? And there are people out there that save people that is not part of their job. And the Swan saved a guy the other day. Swan, tell us.
Nope, not going to tell the story.
Come on,
okay.
No.
Okay, now, first of all,
for those who story.
No,
for those who
not going to tell the story.
This
nope.
is bullshit.
Those who can't
see, if you don't tell the story, I'm going to be so fucking pissed.
Yeah, you be pissed. You just tell the story then.
Tell the fucking No, I don't.
No, you tell the story.
Come on, tell the fucking story.
No, I don't want to tell the story. No.
Okay.
Tell the goddamn story.
Okay. You know what? Here, I'll fill you in on something I did, and I did not want to.
How did all of a sudden shift to something that the Ronz did? Were you wearing your black belt at the time?
No, I was not.
Did you
take
time out to save a person to put your black belt on?
No, actually, what I did, in all seriousness, there was a pipe that overfilled, and we were trying to close it off, and I yelled, "Someone get in there, close this pipe off!" And this guy did, but he got soaked in fuel and everything. And the first thing we had to do was get him to
light a match. They're like, the first thing we had to do was light a match.
No, we had to get him to an emergency shower, right? And we had to strip him down, right? You get soaked with fuel.
Him?
No, we did not. Well, if you're not going to tell your story, let me say this.
Great story, Ron. Keep telling.
So anyway, we're doing this, and we're stripping him down. I'm yelling, "Hey, what's your name?" And it's like, whatever. I said, "Hey, fucking A, what is your name?" You're trying to keep him lucid, right?
Like, my name is Tom, and take your hands off my balls.
There you go. I'm like, so we're
this is not part of. You don't have to rub me down, okay? You can just hose me up. You don't have to rub me down. Also.
So what we're doing is I'm stripping him down with a couple of other guys, getting his uniform off and everything. It's like,
suspicious at all.
hey, we got to get him to the emergency room as quick as possible. You got sick, you got
sickness.
Dude, that is a real thing. If you've ever been soaked with JP4, JP8, any type of fuel product, that could be detrimental.
I had JP8 on my leg once, and it actually went through my BDUs and had a slight little contact burn.
Yeah, it's so we threw this guy in the shower, and I'm saying, hey, someone else. I said, you go run up there, grab a vehicle. I'm gonna hang out with this guy. We got him into the shower. I'm stripping him down. I'm like, hey, what's your name?
Many times
I'm stripping down.
You keep interrupting.
You stripped him down. Here's what happened. He stripped him down. They washed him off.
Yeah,
he got dressed, and Ronz stripped him down again.
All right, you're right. You know what? But
how many times did you have to strip this guy down?
No, you're right. But I keep going back to that. But the thing is, he came up to me and says, you know what? If it wasn't for your kind of quick thinking and what you did for me, I would have been dead.
I take men's clothes off all the time.
Yeah. But he said, you saved my life. and it got back to my, whatever, right? Because it got back to my my squadron, and they go, "Why didn't you mention this? Why didn't you mention this, Sarge?"
Because nobody gives a shit because you didn't really save his life. He could have really just taken off his own clothes and stroked himself.
No, he got face full of fuel. I'm not going to go in. I'm going to let you believe what you want to believe.
That's way better than my story.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I said, you know what?
That's way better than the time I pulled.
No. I was going to say.
That's way better than the time I pulled my.
All right. Just let me say this.
Grenade
though. It's like
that's way better than that story.
I was going to say, it's my job. I didn't join the military for recognition. I saved a guy's life. If that's what you guys want to think, I'll let that up to you. Right. But it's
I'm going to say the guy could probably have taken his own clothes off.
That's the one thing
in the hazmat shower.
If that's the one thing you're going to focus on, that's cool. But it's sort of like the Swans. It's like, was it
saved his life?
It's not about me.
It's about. It's a big deal for you. So I'm gonna say that you probably saved his life, though.
No. I did what was necessary, and I'm pretty sure that's
necessary. But did you have to put your finger in his asshole?
No, I did not. No,
you didn't have to. Okay, so why did you do it?
To make sure he was okay. That was a future reference.
That's a fuel check, right? That's how you check oil.
That's a fuel check. So if Swan doesn't want to talk about it, congratulations to her. I understand her modesty, and hopefully she never has to save another life again. Right?
Well, that military story is much better than mine.
Well, I'd like to hear yours.
Oh, it's nothing compared to yours.
Nothing, of course. Right?
All right, so we were taking this room under a night vision goggles, and when you go in to take a room, one of the persons
online doesn't count.
High, one person is high, one person is low. I was high, so I'm at the top. To the rear.
I didn't think they allowed.
Just shut up, Ron. It's actually a good story. It's better than yours if you want to hear.
Oh, wait a minute. It's okay for you to interrupt me with a finger up the ass.
I'm about to tell a real story.
Oh, okay. So you were high at the time doing this military maneuver in the car.
If you understood anything about mount training, which you don't because you're in the Air Force, but anyway.
Well, I know
movies where you see people enter into a room and shoot up a room. One person is high, one person is low. So you go in low. The person who goes in low goes to the left. The person high goes to the right. Okay. You prep the room before you go in different ways. This particular way, the guy who was going in first, I was the team leader. He was my rifleman. He's supposed to pull a grenade. So he looks up at me. I said, yes, pull the grenade. He pulls. This is a real grenade, not a fake grenade. And when you throw the grenade into the room, you try to angle it so it goes around the corner into the room instead of going straight into the room. Well,
like bouncing off a wall, like physics?
If you go straight into the room,
I didn't think so.
Obviously the blast is going to come out through the door. There's a likelihood that your blast will come out through the door also, the door that you're just entering. Okay? So he's kneeling, or crouching rather. He pulls the pin, cooks off the grenade. He throws the grenade in, but as he throws the grenade, he leans forward. He throws the grenade straight in, and he fell into the doorway.
Ooh.
Now, grenades, they go off in about 3 seconds. So, not thinking of myself, much like the Ronz, when he stripped a guy down, I bent down, and this kid weighed, I don't know, 170 pounds. I bent down, grabbed him, and literally lifted him off the ground and threw him into the wall next to me as the grenade exploded. Not even as cool of a story as yours.
Yeah. So did you date him after that, or were you just good friends?
Well, he thanked me pretty much every day for the rest of the time that I knew him. But I'm like, it's not a big deal. I was just doing my job. It's not nearly as cool as someone splashing fuel on them and me, stripping them down and stroking them off.
All right, you know what?
Yes, your story was much better.
All right.
I also got no recognition, Ronz, because we all.
But the thing is, I didn't want recognition. I didn't. I was just
that was well deserved. You didn't need any.
Oh, you were such
what did you need? Some guy got fuel on him. I had a guy fucking fell in the doorway of a grenade as it was exploding.
Granted, they are night and day. I agree with you.
Think about this. This is what I always found was most amazing. is that I'm not exaggerating. I picked him up with one arm and slammed him into the wall next to me.
Oh, I
That's
have no
why I
doubt
thought it
about
was
that.
amazing. How the fuck did I do that?
Your
Adrenaline.
adrenaline. Yeah, adrenaline. I mean, you knew this guy was going to die. I mean,
He probably would have lived, maybe.
He just have been maybe messed up,
He
have no
probably,
face.
he probably would have been fucked up just a little bit.
but I agree.
I mean, yours was a life or death situation. Mine. Notice how mine. I'm like,
He could have got chemical burns on his penis, but Ronz saved him
that's the one
by
thing. I
stripping
mean,
him down.
you know,
And
we're talking about chemical burns and we're talking about a few other things, but you're right. I mean, we can make fun of each other on that, but when it comes down to it, if someone says, I was just doing my job, when you look at the cops who go out there, the EMTs, the ambulance driver, you guys in the medical field, to you guys, it's just another day. And some of you don't want the recognition that you so deserve. You really don't.
I know.
Every day.
I wish. Can someone please tell a story? We have 5
no,
minutes.
I don't
Go
want
on.
to tell the story. You tell the story.
So we want you to tell a story,
No,
and
I
you're being an
don't
asshole.
want. I know.
Please
I
just
don't
tell
want
the
to tell the
story.
story. I don't want to tell the story. No, I don't want to tell the story.
So Swan saved a life. That's awesome. So she saved a life, and she doesn't want anybody to know that.
Didn't save a life, but she probably kept somebody from having a seizure.
All the better.
I mean, I rarely say that. Here's the thing with that whole saving a life thing. The human body is a great design. It doesn't need that much from us. The chances of you actually dying from so many things is like, come on. You probably didn't save that person's life, but whatever. But she definitely did keep him from probably having a seizure or an anoxic brain injury. There you go.
That's fantastic. And
I guess we'll just leave it up to mystery because the Swan's being an asshole and won't tell a story for our listeners.
No,
She
you
won't
told
tell
me.
a story.
You told
She
me to
won't
not tell the story, and I don't
so
want
we
to tell
can
the
have
story.
some fun.
No, I don't want to. It's
Then
fine.
what's the point of doing the podcast then, Swan?
Because you
won't
told
tell
me
a
we
story
weren't going to tell the story, so I'm not telling the story.
When did I say we were going to tell the story?
You said that. You said that. Nope.
When? When did I say that?
Probably the day it happened.
I didn't say we weren't going to tell a story on the podcast. I never said that. Come on,
I'm
tell the story.
no.
Okay, I'm going to beg now. Please, just tell the
I don't
story.
want to tell the story.
Okay, well then you can't be on the podcast
Okay,
anymore
I don't want to be on the
because
fucking
you won't
podcast
participate,
anymore. I
and
don't
that's
want to tell the story.
bullshit.
You
Good.
too. If I had to send you I can't send you to different rooms. You guys are already there.
All right.
You just want to make fun of me, so I don't want
That's
to.
the point. That is the
No,
point
I'm
of our
good.
fucking podcast. That is the
good.
fucking point. Do you not understand the fucking point of our podcast?
There's
Ronz
the
wanted to see me
meanie.
get
There he
pissed.
is,
Now I
Ron.
am getting
There he
fucking
is.
pissed.
There he is,
Because you
Ron.
have
There
a
he
legitimate
is.
story to fucking tell, to be entertaining, and you fucking won't do it.
What does it say? Fuck
Fuck 2020. All right, well, I guess that's it from the Slaptail Squad.
Well,
because
you know-
Swan's being a fucking bitch.
I am
Yes.
not. I am not. So no, that's fantastic that someone said, well, that's the other thing. Does anybody really deserve or want any recognition? Will Trump take recognition for bringing back football? Doesn't really matter, right? Will you take recognition for winning the election that you supposedly think you won? Doesn't matter. Will Squeegee Snot ever come on stage with me?
No, because
I'm
even
gonna
if they
go
did,
no.
even if they existed and they requested to be on our podcast, they would not be on our podcast.
Ah,
And once again, I will tell you, do not make any more references to them on our social media page.
oh. And what are you
All
going to
right,
do about it?
What do I do about it? Well, I will take away your access, and
yeah.
I will edit every post that you've ever made.
Oh, yeah, jeez. Oh, that's just low. Okay. All right.
I mean, it's
All
already
right.
bad enough that you still cannot, construct a sentence correctly without fucking it up.
By the way, I looked at the comments that people want that no one's left really a comment. I think they're bot comments. I've actually been looking at the comments that people have been leaving. So
Right, but if you don't get rid of the bot comments, if you think they're bots, then we're just going to keep getting them.
all right, fair enough. So I'll
I
control.
assume they're bot comments also, but I'm like, well, you're not doing your job as an administrator. You're not getting rid of that shit.
Ah, I see. So I have to find out which is real and which is not.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
you are the website guy, are you not?
I am. Okay. Yeah, you're right. All right. And as far as the way it goes, and we'll see how it goes, right? Right.
Well, I I guess what we'll do is, we'll post this podcast. We're going to record another one here in the next few days. And maybe by then the Swans will tell her fucking story.
Maybe she will.
Maybe she will.
So, no more squeegee snot comments for a while. I'll make sure, right? So I've got one of their demos somewhere. I'll locate it and I'll play it for you.
Oh,
right?
please, can you?
Yeah, for you,
I
anything.
can't wait. Jeez, please, can you?
Right? But we should really talk about a future podcast. What's your favorite type of music to listen to?
We did that.
Well, currently I'm listening to different things all the time.
Well, we can discuss that on the next podcast.
And maybe we can see how you saved somebody's life.
Maybe if the Swan feels like sharing, but her reason for not sharing is ridiculous because she doesn't want to be made fun of, and that's what we do. That is what we fucking do.
That's okay, really. I mean, honestly, B-Man, you've been so mellow since you left your job, and I like this side of you, right? You are so mellow. You are so happy. It's night and day. You haven't been pissed off at anybody, and to see the Swan piss you off, you realize how long it took. It took almost an hour and 23 minutes to get you there, right? You were so cool about it too. It's like, well, tell it. No. She edged you towards oblivion, and you went willingly. Right? So, I don't know if I want to send you back into the medical field. I don't think anybody wants to do that.
I don't think.
Maybe
I
you should
don't
be.
want to, but hey, whatever.
Maybe you should be the first world's gardener, forester, janitor. Right? Go out to the forestry.
Just sweep the forest. Somebody give me a broom. Like,
yeah,
so
I can see that happening.
It's so dirty. I have so much to do. It's just dirty, so dirty.
You'd have a never-ending job.
Yeah,
that'd be great. I would totally do that. That sounds great.
Yeah,
all right, well that's it. That's it for me.
On,
then I'm tired of. I
want to give a shout out to the Woodman.
You say fucking okay? That's fine.
I wasn't gonna say squeegee snot. I was gonna say the Woodman because lately, have you seen his videos that he's been posting?
No.
He's been doing this face app swap thing that he puts his face on he swapped out Rambo for his face. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, it's awesome. Right. So if you get a chance out, and we really need to get the Woodman back on.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it.
I think
we might have to do a garage podcast.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Bust out my little hunting heater. I didn't even tell my hunting story. All right, well, we'll have to get to that.
Yeah, that's on the next.
I'll tell that on the next podcast and see if we can grow Stramande out.
Yeah, I would like to see that. And a happy Thanksgiving or late Thanksgiving to everybody out there.
Same to you also, Ronz. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. And
thank you.
Wakanda forever and
Squeegee Snot forever.
No. Squeegee Snot can suck a wiener.
Yeah, fuck that.
Fuck that. Yeah.
Get mad, Swan. Tell the story. Tell the story.
No, the story's going to be reserved for next time.
She'll tell the next time. All right, well, that's it for me, the Beef Man. And thank you, Slaptail Nation, for listening. Thank you, all the donors who donated for the boot campaign and the Lace Up and Get Fit. The Swan and I met our goal. We each achieved $500 and raised $1,000 for our charity. So that's pretty freaking awesome. Thank you to my donors. And whoever the anonymous donor was, thank you. I think I know who you are. And if I don't and I'm wrong, I'll be like, oh, okay, motherfucker, it's not you? What the fuck? I'm pretty sure I thought it was you, but I guess it's not. All right, whatever.
That's the word anonymous. That's why they wanted to be anonymous.
And Ronz, I also have a plan for tomorrow. I'm going to take my stage combat sword, and I'm going to cut some pumpkins in half and film it and see what happens. And hopefully they don't freeze overnight, because if they do, that's going to really suck when I hit them.
I look forward to seeing that.
I will do that. I will do that tomorrow. That should be fun, because stage combat swords are not that sharp. They're not that sharp either.
Not that sharp.
All right, that's it for me. Adios, mooch fuckos.
Bye.
Hey, from the Ronz.
God damn it, you don't have to see from the... Okay.